This will be a video previewing week 3 of the Immortals trophy, but here just to say how important these games are. The format for the quarterfinals is the first and second place out of each group makes it, and first place second, and of course nobody from the same group will play each other unless they both make it into the final. Those are the two things you need to know. So I will move on to separate groups. Group 1, some very important games. The way we have it is that 3 teams are fighting for the top 2 spots. Kiss My Ass is for the most, well, they are definitely out, but they can make a big impact against Veni Vidi Air Snipe. Obviously first place Deathly's Rage has the best record. If they win, they get a victory, and if they win, that would mean Eisen and Arma will be hoping, actually they'll be out no matter what. Even if Kiss My Ass beats Veni Vidi Air Snipe, they'll have the exact same record. Of course, if Eisen and Arma lose 2-1 and Veni Vidi Air Snipe lose 2-0, in that case Eisen and Arma could win, so that lost tiebreaker. But in most cases, if Eisen and Arma lose, they're not going to make it, and most likely Veni Vidi Air Snipe will win. Of course, more interesting things can happen if Deathly's Rage actually lose. It is possible to have everything get absolutely tied up in this group. So we can imagine Eisen and Arma beating Deathly's Rage 2-0. They'll be exactly even on points, and then Veni Vidi Air Snipe beating Kiss My Ass 2-0, and then it will be all up to tiebreakers. Of course, there the 2-1 wins become very critical, because if one of these teams wins 2-1, for example, Eisen and Arma beating Deathly's Rage 2-1, will put them at a disadvantage against Veni Vidi Air Snipe, who, if they win 2-0, would leave Eisen and Arma out. So Eisen and Arma are in a very difficult spot. So looking at the possibilities for all first and second places, all top 3 teams can be in either position. Now, Group 2 is even more complicated. It seems, well, it's very similar, but here it's actually more complicated because there is a possibility for Q Squids to still make it in second place. So once again, through the cases, if GG No Re, thanks for correcting me on that, wins, they're going to get first place. And if they win, the Small Brats lose. And Small Brats do have some 2-1 victories, and the Spider Pigs are going to be in a, actually Spider Pigs will make it depending on how they lose to Q Squids. If they lose to Q Squids, actually if Q Squids beat the Spider Pigs and GG No Re win, Q Squids, because they have those 2-1 losses, if the tiebreaker goes to losses, Q Squids can jump over both Small Brats and Spider Pigs. So hopefully that made sense. But in that case, GG No Re needs to win, obviously. If GG No Re don't win, if they lose against Small Brats, gives a big advantage to Small Brats. But then if Spider Pigs win, then a 2-0 victory for Spider Pigs versus a 2-1 victory for Small Brats would give the victory to Spider Pods. So that 2-1 victory for Small Brats is really holding them back. And of course, it is possible for Spider Pigs to get first place if GG No Re lose, because they also have that 2-1 victory, and Spider Pigs can get more 2-1 victories. So any kind of possibilities, really, Q Squids can only get second place. That's really the only limitation for any of these sides. And you can see they will be facing players from Group 1, and here these quarterfinals are basically impossible to predict. We know that if you get second place for Group 1, you definitely won't be facing Q Squids. I don't know if that's something to play for, but very difficult to predict, which makes it very interesting. But of course, that game between Eisen and Arma versus Deathly's Rage is going to be very critical. It can create all kinds of situations. We haven't even talked about draws. but those will be bad for anybody who has them. So moving on to Group 3, here it's a little more straightforward. The game between Immortals and Two Potato Brothers has actually already happened, and I won't spoil it. It doesn't really have any bearing on what happens in Group 3. They played very well, but they did lose all their games, and of course first place is going to be YouTube Stars versus Brain Bunch. YouTube Stars do have a disadvantage that they, for example, if it's a draw, they're going to be in second place because they have more 2-1 losses that Brain Bunch have. With that 2-0 victory, have a slight advantage. And of course, Squall has already casted Immortals versus Two Potato Brothers. If people haven't checked out his channel, definitely do that. It's a very good cast. Of course, it is Crazy Rush, which makes this week 3 even more insane. Of course, now the Brain Bunch, they're going to be facing somebody from Group 4. And once again, we can't tell who is going to be first or second. And Group 4 is even more simple. Putin and Shakrut, they actually didn't, they can't play because of real life, which is unfortunate, which makes this group very simple. Tag most likely will get first place, but Pink Paranoia can make an upset because Tag do have a 2-1 victory, which could mean if Pink Paranoia beats them, Pink Paranoia would have better wins on the same points. But if it's a draw or a loss to Pink Paranoia will just move through on second place. Still an important game, but they'll either face YouTube Stars or the Brain Bunch. So much simpler in the Group 3 versus Group 4. So these are the different possibilities. Hopefully people watch these casts. I won't be able to do any, but we got Guile and Squall and Napalm. Very enjoyable casts. Lately I've been listening to all of them, and hopefully people find the time to cast and to listen.